Are you a good person? No, you're not good. You exploit others, do you, and vandalize and scam and cheat? Incidentally, do you know why it's hard to befriend a psychopath? The answer is it's hard to befriend anybody while you're chopping them up. Now, that was a joke told from the point of view of a cannibal. I imagine they congregate, psychopaths and cannibals, but I don't know this for sure. Anyway, what about you? Are you a good person? Most of us, I think, are in the middle somewhere. We're good, but with quite some bad, or we're bad, but with some or quite some good. But that's not helpful. Not today. No, today I want to offer a clear test to resolve this question: are you a good or a bad person once and for all? A test based on behavior. Okay, imagine that you're walking and you pass by a homeless person who asks, can you spare a cigarette? Now, you don't smoke, so you ignore him. Well, you might instead have replied, I don't smoke, but can I give you money? Because what he needs more than a cigarette, of course, is money. And you have money, it's in your pocket. Are you a bad person for just walking on? Okay, you enter a bodega. Now, normally, someone's behind the counter here, but today he's out back, for the moment, feeding his cat. Here's something you like: candy. You could shoplift it. Oh, here's something else: gum. So you take the gum and a candy bar, in which moment you're a thief. Now, does that make you a bad person? I'm not sure. I mean, you might have left with armfuls of the store's products. In the street, you walk briskly away from the bodega on a bright winter's day when a couple approach you and they say, sorry. They say, would you mind? Can you take a photo of us? You're in front of the NBC Christmas tree at the Rockefeller Center. It's very nice here. You say, I'm in a hurry, curtly, just like that. I'm in a hurry. When in fact, you're 5 blocks now from the bodega, so not in a hurry. Here then were 3 incidents in succession where you've behaved as a bad person might. Still, you're not yet necessarily bad. Not yet. You pass someone now holding a clipboard who asks you, do you have 30 seconds for autism? And you think, well, I don't know anyone who's autistic, and my children are fine, they don't have the condition, and so you walk on. Another instance of, I think, disregarding bad behavior, and they're adding up, aren't they? Now, you arrive at your apartment building, and then you walk into the elevator, and you can see in the corner of your eye someone's hurrying to reach the elevator before the doors close. You'd rather ride the elevator alone today, so you let the doors close as they would had you not been there, or you press the closed door button. Now, you don't lunge for it or take any steps. You just press it. It's close by. You could press it and the doors close. Now, who's to say if she really had good reasons to be in such a hurry? Well, in fact, some moments earlier, she'd received a text from the babysitter about her 2-year-old daughter that read, Bethany's choking. I think it's marbles. In other words, the woman did have good reason to hurry, but how could you have known that? And the child, in the end, well, she was fine. She was okay. If you're counting, that's 5 or 6 separate, successive examples of bad behavior. Okay, one last incident. Now, you're on the subway, the train stops, and a couple walk on. There's a seat beside you that's free. It's the only free seat. She's about 60 and she takes it. He's older, in his 70s, mid-70s, late 70s, but he's not obviously rickety. He holds the metal bar that's at his head height, and he steadies himself. Now, you could get up to give him the seat and let them sit together, and you do. You get up, you do that, and they sit together. In other words, you do a good thing, one gesture of consideration for a stranger in, say, 5 or 6 opportunities. In other words, around a 15 to 20% rate of generosity. And that's enough. You're a good person in that case. You are. Now, you might object to this. You might question it. You might say, shouldn't the required generosity rate be higher, say 50%? There'd be no good people at 50%. Okay, say 25%? That's still a bit high. No, if you take 1 in 5 or 6 opportunities to be good, you don't have to question your goodness anymore. If, however, you need, say, 10 or 12 opportunities before you take one of them and do a good thing, so a 8 to 10% rating, that's lowish, which is not to say you're bad, but you're in a grey area. You might be bad, actually. So if you could increase that a little and maintain generally about a 15 to 20% generosity rating, the question about your goodness, it could be put to rest. I should add, if you commit crimes, say for example you run a dog fighting ring that masquerades as an animal shelter, or you poison a water supply so you can sell bottled water locally or offer decontamination services, then you shouldn't think, but I maintain a generosity rating of 15 to 20%, so I'm good. No, I think for you, also for murderers, you're bad. But for everybody else, the 15 to 20% required rate for goodness is, I think, about right.